Reach 635, left turn on Alpha, right turn on Juliet. Gotta follow me over there.
Close to aircraft wingspan greater than 200 feet. Advise on initial contact. You have information Romeo. Portsmouth Tower information Romeo. 175.
Alright, can you hear me? Put your mic down so I can hear you. It's on your left side. Yeah, right there.
You hear me now?
I can.
Excellent.
Alright, and you have a little control module on your headset where you can adjust your volume and turn on your noise cancellation. So press the power button right in there. Yep. That should turn your noise cancellation on.
Yep.
And then your sliders above the power button are for your volume.
Great.
Available on highways or flight service frequencies. Taxiway Alpha between Charlie and Delta, close to aircraft wingspan greater than 200 feet. Advise on initial contact. You have information Romeo. Portsmouth Tower information Romeo. 1756 Zulu observation. Wind 240 at 04. Visibility 10. Few clouds 5000. Few clouds 25,000. Temperature 24. Dew point 07. Altimeter 3028. Pressure altitude minus 229er. Expect visual approach runway 16. Departing runway 16.
Oh good, they switched runways. We were landing with a tailwind before, so that wasn't fun. Portsmouth ground, RV266 Victor Alpha, November Haynes, ready to taxi with Romeo.
RV266 Victor Alpha, Portsmouth Tower, runway 16, taxiway right turn on Alpha, and you want an intersection departure?
Yeah, we can take intersection.
Roger, runway 16 Charlie, taxi Alpha Charlie.
Alpha Charlie, 16 Charlie, 6 Victor Alpha. Alright, so you primarily only flew the Cessna, right?
Yeah.
What's the ground, Cherokee?
So the difference with this airplane and that airplane, the biggest difference right off the bat is the pedals are not connected to the nose wheel. So I could go full pedal and it's still going to go straight.
Okay.
Alright, so the pedals don't work until you have sufficient speed over the rudder. And so you have to use differential braking to kind of get it going.
I'll squawk for you shortly.
And so at low speed taxiing, you just use a little bit of brake, which are the white T's on top of the pedals there.
12505 on the squawk, our correction for the frequency, and the code will be 4773.
So it probably makes it easier to land and not have to worry about where the nose wheel is, right? If it's always...
Right. Yeah, the nose wheel should always be straight when you touch down. Should be.
Column 4 Tower, say again?
But it's just free castering, so it just kind of goes with the airplane. So we're going down 16 at Charlie, so we'll make the right turn on Alpha here.
Aztec 19 Yankee, right turn on Alpha to runway 16 at Charlie via Alpha Charlie. Runway 16 at Charlie, taxi by Alpha Charlie, information Romeo, current altimeter 3028 and runway 16 in use.
Alright, so we got a little ways to go since we're going down to Charlie. Usually they give us Bravo, which gives us about 4,000 feet of taxi. We're going all the way down, we're going all the way down to Charlie, which is about 8,000.
Cherokee 6356 Juliet, runway 16 at Charlie, wind 2206, clear for takeoff.
So you started flying down to Beverly? Is that what I thought saw in your bio?
Yeah, so my first flight was in Beverly.
Super Cub 843, I do have a Cherokee departing, runway 16 at Charlie. You can check wheels down, runway 16.
I grew up in Beverly.
Approved exit at the end.
And would always go to the airport as a kid.
And 843, you can make a short approach if you want to.
And finally, when I showed up one day, I was able to go flying. My parents didn't even know about it. I was only 11. They kind of freak out when they did find out about it, but supported me this far.
Cherokee 56 Juliet, have contact departure, have a good one. Right, turnout approved.
You said you had about 3 hours in 172?
Yep.
Did you do like maneuvers, like steep turn, slow flight,
Yes.
all that stuff? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, here's Charlie, so make the left here.
Alright, 43, left turn at the end, taxi park, remain this frequency.
Pointed into the wind a little bit, even though we're almost a direct crosswind.
19 Yankee, you want to take Charlie or you want to go full length? Roger, left turn on Charlie, hold short in sequence.
Okay, we'll get this run up done quick because we got someone waiting behind us. The flight controls are good. Fuel is on, choke is off, ignition AB on. Throttle up to 4,000, RPM gauge is here. We cycle the ignition systems, make sure they run smooth. It's just like checking your magnetos in the Cessna, going between 1 and 2 mags. Everything's in the green, nothing's flashing yellow. Pressure's good on the oil and the fuel. We'll turn our landing light on. No real change in our amp, so that's good. And flight instruments reading 0, good heading, good altitude. Back to idle. Everything's good. It's always normal for the electrical stuff to dip down.
Sure.
All right, you want to do a takeoff?
No.
No?
Not the first time. No.
All right, everything looks good.
Fourth Tower, RV266 Victor Alpha is hold short 16 Charlie for a left turn out to the east.
RV266 Victor Alpha, Ports Tower, runway 16 Charlie, wind 2106, clear for takeoff, left turn unapproved.
Clear for takeoff 16 Charlie, left turn unapproved, RV6 Victor Alpha.
So the hardest part with this airplane is the ground handling. So on a day like today, it might not actually be that bad because the wind is out of the right. So that's going to be bringing the nose into the wind, and then the torque and everything of the engine is making the engine go to the left. So it might actually equalize itself a little bit, but the airplane needs a significant amount of right rudder on takeoff. So I'm just going to go ahead and go full right rudder and a little bit of right brake just to get it going straight. And we're full throttle. Gauges are green. Now I'm pretty much neutral on the rudder, neutral on the stick, slowly bringing the nose up. Up we go. We climb out at about 75.
Charlie, wind 2004, clear for takeoff, right turn approved. That RV traffic will be making a left turn up.
Okay, 19 Yankees clear for takeoff with a right turn up.
Climb's a bit better than a 172.
Yeah. About like 900 feet per minute.
Yeah. Yeah, right now we're doing, just about 900.
Victor Alpha, left turn approved, your discretion.
Left turn out approved, RV1 Victor, 6 Victor Alpha, thanks.
Okay, we'll go ahead and start our left turn. We'll go down by downtown. So you can see like how little movement needs to be put into the stick in order for it to respond. It's really just very sensitive. Alright, you ready to take it? So take it with your left hand. Yeah. And just be, you know, it'll react to anything that you put into it, so. We'll level off at about 1,500 feet. We're going straight out to the beach. Alright, so lower the nose a little bit.
Trim?
Yep, you can use the trim.
RV6 Victor Alpha, free exchange approved, talk to you in a bit.
Hey, free exchange approved, 6 Victor Alpha, see ya.
Aztec 19 Yankee, free exchange approved.
Thank you.
It seems more sensitive to the wind than a Cessna.
Yeah, a little. I mean, it's so much lighter. You know, it's only a couple hundred pounds lighter than a Cessna. On a day like today, though, because it's so clear, there's just so many thermals. And I mean, you'd be feeling that in really any airplane, but because the airplane is lighter, it obviously gets picked up more. So we're actually going to go out over the water, where it should be smoother, as the water absorbs the heat energy. Funny enough, on those really hot days, it was so hazy out that there was no turbulence. Like, it was super smooth. And so now it's like really not that hot, but it's really clear, and we have the turbulence.
It's cruising, that's like 130.
Cruise?
Yeah, ground
No.
speed, no.
No, it's gonna, cruise is about, depends on how much fuel you want to burn, but it's gonna be right around 95, 100. If you want to burn 4 gallons an hour or 4.5 gallons an hour, you can do like 110, 115.
I recommend 2,000, be polite over downtown, 2,000 feet above. See.
You can. It's 1,000 feet is the minimum. You can just maintain 2,000, and once we get out over the water, you can make a left turn and follow the coast. And what we'll do is we'll go out towards like Cape Nettic, go circle around Nubble Light. Back and start your turn. Obviously, the best part of this airplane is the visibility, being able to see, all around you without any really blind spots.
$95 knots ground speed right now.
We're going 104 right now.
Okay.
Ground speed for that one. That's indicated.
Okay, yeah. What's the approximate range on this at that speed?
So if you're burning about 4 gallons an hour, you got 20 gallons, so that gives you about 5 hours. You leave, about an hour of reserve, roughly, and that gives you about 4 hours. So 4 hours times about 100, about 400 miles range.
Have you flown into Waterville Airport before?
I haven't. Where's that one?
Just above Augusta. It's just a buddy of mine who's a pilot who lives in Belgrade. Recommend, he said, flying to Waterville, it's a little better airport than Augusta.
Yeah. I've never been up that far north. The furthest north I've been into Maine is Auburn, Lewiston.
Yep. That's only 20 minutes south of that.
Oh, okay. That's really not that far.
Nope.
We'll get on the map here. So, Auburn, Lewiston, there's Augusta, there's Waterville there. That would take just under an hour for us to get there. 93 miles.
Always fly up to Augusta. They've got a good Thai restaurant right there at the airport, so
yeah.
Fly up and have expensive Thai food.
That's just an excuse to fly. I assume the Cessna that you flew didn't have glass cockpit? No, it's all old gauges.
Correct. Was there a tutorial on this Dynon?
Yes. Yeah, there's a whole bunch of videos on YouTube showcasing them, showing you how to use them. Even Ryan, the one you probably talked to on the phone, he even has a couple videos out there himself of how to work the autopilot and stuff. It's really pretty simple though, because I mean it's touchscreen, so you can, if you want to go anywhere, you just kind of click it. Say you want to go to Portland, you click it, go to info, and this is basically a chart supplement. So it has all of your frequencies, your chart. So if you were on the airport, it would actually put your airplane on the map, so you could taxi around without any issue. Has live weather, plus the forecast as well. Shows all the airports, all the remarks for the airport. This is all the information you really need is right on here, and this gets updated monthly.
Just have a transponder in it?
Yeah, yep. Yeah, so that's what, if we click up here, this 1200, that's our transponder, so all our transponder stuff will come up underneath that. So we should be right over top Nubble Light now,
yeah.
Right below us.
Yep.
So what you can do is just do a couple 360s right over top of Nubble. Just kind of get a feel for the airplane in 360, try and maintain altitude. You'll notice you have to give it a little bit of nose up in order for it to maintain altitude, which is normal. Bumpier over here.
It is.
It was just smooth the whole way out here, now it's bumpy again.
Just over the land.
I don't know if you noticed, but in the background is the synthetic vision, so you can see the coastline there with all the rivers and whatnot going through. That'll also show obstacles and mountainous terrain, as well as traffic.
Was it 3D on that?
Yeah.
Right, just doesn't need much input at all.
Nope. Alright, so now do a right 360.
Find people are better at one side than the other.
They tend to be, usually what I'll notice is a person will be more comfortable going steeper one way than the other way. And that's just because of your perspective looking down at the ground is different.
Had any students scare the shit out of you?
Not really.
I don't want to break streak then.
I feel like I've almost like become numb to certain things. So I can let a student get pretty far before it's like, okay, I need to get us out of this. And that's mainly because the best way you're going to learn is by making mistakes.
Rather than do that in the simulator, I think.
Yeah.
Alpha B November, clear for takeoff.
I've practiced like 30-mile-an-hour crosswinds and stuff like that in the simulator. Yeah. That's a test pilot, right?
Right. Yeah, well, I've done some pretty stiff crosswinds in this airplane, and it handles it pretty well. It gets tossed around, believe me, but the touchdown is always really nice.
Cliff house?
Yeah. Yeah, once you hit the cliff house, you can kind of go around it and then go to Mount A off the left wing.
Gonna get any thermals off A?
Maybe. Well, if it's bumpy out there, then we'll come back over the water. The amount of visibility is crazy today compared to last week, where it was like 6-7 miles visibility. Now we have like 60.
Crazy.
And probably the scariest moment I ever had was I was in a Cessna 140, which is a tailwheel, and I was doing tailwheel training, and there were some thunderstorms that were approaching, but they all pretty much dissipated, and it was just like some gray clouds, and it was actually a really nice night. My student wanted to do one more takeoff and landing before calling it a night. It was about sunset. The sun just went down. It's getting dark, and as soon as he puts the power in full, the airplane just takes right off. It just full power right up in the air. Out of, like, completely fooled us, had no idea what was going on. As we're cruising down the runway, look at the windsock and it's sticking straight out. And I'm like, all right, that's cool. And so one of the thunderstorms, even though it wasn't producing rain, still had downdraft. So it was still producing a lot of wind. And so we kind of struggled climbing out. I took control of the airplane at this point. I struggled climbing out. I was able to bring it back around. We probably only got like 700, 800 feet in the pattern. The pattern was 1,000, so we weren't that low. It was lower than usual. It just had a wicked crosswind when we came in to land. It was like super sketchy. It was the most wind I ever landed in at that time, and I was in a tailwheel, which makes it that much more difficult. And I was able to get it down using all the runway. My student totally thought he was going to die, and I'm just like, well, that wasn't really that bad. But that was probably like, that's about as scary as it's gotten for me, and that really didn't faze me that much. So
you don't think a tail dragger is easier to land in crazy weather?
No, tail wheels are definitely harder to land, take off and land, because that tail is always trying to go to the front of the airplane. So you're constantly on the rudder like crazy and using brakes and...
On Aggie right there?
Yeah, right over here.
Like the old 911s without traction control. The rear end always wanted to come around and say hi.
Yeah, it's exactly what it's like, and it's teaching in tailwheel is sketchy because the student can't keep up with it quick enough because they're trying to learn, so they don't really know. And so I'm constantly having to recover us from what's called ground looping. If you ground loop at a fast enough speed, it'll tip and drag the wing around. That's why it becomes pretty dangerous fly landing a tailwheel.
So when you come in and land on this, if you don't have your foot on either one of the brake pedals, it'll land neutral?
Depends on the wind.
Okay.
So airplanes want to go for the path of least resistance, which is into the wind. So it's called the weather vane effect. So it'll pivot itself into the wind. If you land with the airplane not parallel to your flight course, like your path, then you're going to do what's called the side load, and that's kind of skidding across the wheels. So you always want to use a little bit of rudder to get the nose going straight down the line, straight down your flight path, so that they're touching down going forward and not going sideways. And so it takes a decent amount of rudder, but I mean, like, it's like that, like it's really small movements, to get it to respond. It's only on the takeoff where you got to go like really feeding in the rudder and keeping it from pivoting it over.
Notice I have a habit of climbing higher.
Yeah, I've noticed that. We're also in a little bit of a thermal because we're climbing with the nose down.
Yep.
Yeah, right there. I should drop out of it in a sec. That might have been it. There's another one.
Yep.
When you feel like you're getting lifted up from behind, then you're in a pretty good thermal. And because thermals move with the wind, you can't really like predict where there might be one. If the wind is calm, then you can avoid like plowed fields and parking lots. But trees usually absorb energy, so usually you don't have too many thermals over trees. And then water, of course, absorbs energy as well.
Port the tower, Supercub 843 on Bravo is ready for takeoff.
That's Bob Kazian.
Supercub 843
on the radio now.
16 at Bravo, and 2707, clear for takeoff. Right turn out approved.
Right turn out approved, thank you, 843.
He actually does a little bit of teaching for us. He's one of our part-time instructors.
He was a commercial pilot, right? Pan Am or
yep.
One of those?
Yep. Yeah, I think Pan Am and Delta. And now he just does banner tows. Flies up and down the beach all day.
So I'm bleeding off speed and altitude, so a little more throttle.
Yeah, so we'll just put in a little bit more throttle. There should be good. Alright, I can make a left turn sort of back towards the coast. You can see on here there's traffic, probably about 4.5 miles to our south, 1,000 feet below us. It's probably one of the red helicopters going out to Nubble Light. You can keep an eye out for them.
Yeah, if he keeps his transponders on, because he doesn't typically.
Yeah.
Yeah, if people knew what those Robinsons were like, they wouldn't go up in one.
Really?
Yep. Most crashed helicopter out there. They call them the Pintos of the sky.
Port the tower, Bannerco 4890 Papa, northeast bound along the shoreline, 400.
Yeah, I noticed the last summer they were really busy, like all the time. And now they're just a little busy in the morning, and then it's usually they're out of there by like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon.
Yeah, what happened with that two-pronged one is he was doing a 15-minute, which I knew wouldn't be commercially viable because of run-up time and then run-down. You're not running 15 minutes. So he was doing that for $69. Now he opened up in Portland, Maine, too, so I'm sure they won't be digging him.
Right.
The frequency where I was downtown, that 15 minutes starting at like 6 in the morning going until late was just, it was grueling.
Supercub 843, frequency change approved.
Okay, thank you much now.
Yep.
I can't imagine they're, I mean, they don't really bother us too much. They kind of stay out of our way, and I mean, they make a lot of noise when they're doing their run-up and stuff right outside our hangar.
Yep.
But I can't imagine like having them constantly flying over.
Well, he flies directly over my house. You know the middle school downtown, the dome?
Yep.
My house is right behind that, so I get the Doppler effect. I hear him coming, and I hear him going. Good times.
That must be wonderful.
I actually had a colleague of mine come down hard. They had a third cylinder pop over Santa Barbara Airport, landed, and they're known for bursting into flames when they hit hard, the R-44s.
Yep.
So he walked away, but his back's pretty messed up.
Wow. Yeah, they just got a new R-44. Something happened with their other one. I don't know what it was, but they got a brand new one in like a day. And that's not a cheap helicopter.
Yeah, he's leasing them anyway, though.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
That might be how he's affording them then.
Yep. Yeah, he's not a very reasonable individual. I tried having dialogue with him, so did the city. He was like, fuck you, FAA, says I can do what I want. Like, it's not really being a good neighbor, though.
Right.
It's a cool little plane. I like it.
Yeah, I mean, it's easy. Like I said, it's easy to control, great visibility. It's pretty high tech for what it is.
Yeah.
You know, and if there were bad weather, the bad weather shows up here on the screen. So you see like down here in Florida. So if we were out flying and something pops up, you know, we would have enough time to be able to get back to the airport so it wouldn't affect us. It shows all the airspace, shows temporary flight restrictions as well. So like over Boston for the Red Sox games and whatnot, it has the temporary flight restrictions and tells you what their altitudes are. You're just going to kind of hug the coast, go straight out this way and kind of hug the coast
Go
around.
to the aisles and down.
Not quite out to the aisles, but you're going to go out over the water.
Yeah.
There, so this is the Delta for Portsmouth, the Delta airspace, so we're just going around that.
Seen any of the progress on Woods Island, the old Coast Guard rescue station? They're doing a really nice job.
I've seen like a lot of activity going on there, but I didn't know what's been going on.
Yeah, they did it in the middle or tail end of a rehab. I mean, really extensive, nice job.
Yeah. You work in this area too?
Fortunately, I work from home, so that's why, yeah, I figured nice and convenient, so anytime that there's a cancellation,
right,
I can get some hours in. Do you recommend simulator time?
So I don't know if Ryan told you about it all, but we offer a membership for it.
Okay.
So you can, I think it's $150 a month, and you pay $5 an hour for the simulator, and usually it's $75 an hour. So if you just do a little over 2 hours of simulator time a month, then you're saving money. And you can come in and use the simulator whenever you want. You don't necessarily need me. So if you wanted to work on something on your own, like navigation or you know, like some instrument work, you could just go in the simulator. You could book it right on Flight Schedule Pro yourself, and you could just show up, and Ryan or myself will be here to set up the simulator for you.
Cool.
And you can practice landings, pattern work, you know, sort of anything. The airplane is not the same as this, obviously. It's a Cessna 182, so it flies faster, it's heavier, it has a yoke. We can swap it out for a Diamond 20, I think, and that has a stick. We just use the 182 because it's G1000. The G1000 Garmin is pretty similar to this. That's why we like to use it. But I recommend it if you want to, you know, practice different things. And it's good for emergencies. and flying into like bad weather, what I'll use for it is like we'll be doing like a simulated cross country, and then all of a sudden I'll make it cloudy, and so you have to turn around smoothly without losing altitude and getting yourself in a bad situation and backing out of the weather and diverting to a different airport. So it's all scenario-based stuff. That's what simulators are good for.
Yeah, landing to me is still witchcraft with the nose gear, so
yeah,
that's a good thing to practice.
Yep.
And I'm still not sure, like when I'm, at that point where it's like you've flared enough in your boat to.
Yep.
Yeah,
that all just comes with feel. You just got to get a feel for things with practice. It's definitely not easy. This airplane is pretty easy. It's very predictable and very easy to understand what it's doing. Whereas in like a 172, I feel like it floats a lot. So this airplane, it won't float if you do it right.
2462 Tango, about 10 miles south of the airport for some pattern work with Romeo.
2462 Tango.
This is Rye Beach right down over here.
Wind runway 16, report midfield in Iden.
One of the Rye Beaches.
Surf club there with the pool.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's my 2462 Tango.
60 Tango, thank you.
Yeah, and I have another one of my students that he works from home, and he's like, anytime someone cancels last minute, just let me know. I can be there in 10 minutes.
Same with me. Yep, exactly.
It's like, all right, great.
Yep. Keep me in the cancellation list.
Yep. It's good that people are close by. Like actually just today, I had someone that canceled. They didn't even tell me. I just happened to look at the schedule and notice it wasn't there anymore. So I was able to contact my student that was before you, but he was coming from Arundel, Maine, so it took him 30 minutes to get down here. So we had a little bit of a late start, but he was the closest one that I knew of. My other guy that works from home in York, he is away for the weekend.
Have you seen the Icon A5 that?
Yep. Why, you buying one?
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't mind, except that when they first came out, they were toying to be like 220. I think it's 389 fully loaded now. Which...
Yep. I have one of my previous students that was I used to work in Pennsylvania at a flight school, and he was one of my students there. He got his private through me, and he invested a lot of money in there, and he has an A5. And
does he live in Massachusetts?
No, he lives in Pennsylvania,
okay.
But he has a house in what is it? Woods Hole on Cape Cod. And he wants to fly the Icon from Pennsylvania to Woods Hole and land like in the bay there.
It's pretty cool with the angle of attack indicator,
yep.
And I mean the stall speed. It's like it just flutters down.
Yep. Yeah, it really is a neat airplane, but he kind of got screwed because he was in the first 10
yep.
that ordered. He was actually number 13, and then he got moved up because a whole bunch of people canceled. But he, the first I think 20 were all going to be made for flight training. So he has his airplane, he owns it, but he's leasing it back to Icon for flight training. So he doesn't actually have his airplane. It's in Florida at one of their bases. And so they gave him the option of taking the airplane that they've now put a ton of hours on and flight trained, or go to the end of the list and get a new airplane.
That's a bullshit scenario. I don't like that at all.
So he was kind of upset about that, but he's an older gentleman. He's in his late 70s, and he just wanted to have the airplane, so he just goes to Florida and flies it. But yeah, he was pretty upset when they changed the contract and made it so that first bunch was for flight training.
Seacoast.
Affirmative.
Hampton Beach?
Yep, Hampton Beach. There's one of those helicopters flying right over the water right here.
Oh yeah.
Tower, Diamond Star 777 Zulu Victor. We are 10 miles northeast landing.
Diamond Star 777 Zulu Victor, Portsmouth.
Yeah, whenever I see them just sitting on the ground, it's just like, they vibrate so much, it's like, that doesn't interest me.
Well, they had a problem though. So there were like 3 law firms that do nothing but sue Robinson. They had spaghetti rotors where they would just delaminate in the air, and then you're done. There's no auto rotation.
Right.
And then they were recommending that pilots and passengers wear fireproof suits because if you hit hard, they burst into flames.
Right.
Finally, they said, we'll just put a rubber bladder on that gas tank. I think you'll be okay. Just
information, Romeo on 14 West.
Crazy.
And 4000 Whiskey.
Yeah, the only helicopter I've been in was an AH-1 Cobra, which is an attack helicopter.
Yeah.
And I was in the front gunner seat, and the pilot was sitting behind me, and we're just low-level like strafing runs through this marsh. I'll never be able to go in another helicopter.
Right, you get spoiled. Yeah. Yeah. Everything else will be like a Beetle.
Right. Yeah. We're going like 140 knots, like in between trees and stuff. It was like crazy. I'll never be able to go in another helicopter if it's not anything like that.
I've been up into 22 once, and my wife's like, "Did you go up with so-and-so?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "Why would you do that? He's horrible. He's, habitual offender, lost his license, blah, 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 crashed everything he ever drove." I'm like, "It was his birthday. What are the chances you're going to die on your birthday?"
Right.
I came back and showed her the pictures from the air of the house. She's like, "What'd you do?"
Continue northbound.
Eastbound, welcome to Bravo Delta.
Is your wife like a lawyer or something?
No, she works for LinkedIn.com.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so now owned by Microsoft. No, she grew up an expat. Her parents were in World War II, and I don't know if you know anything about flight aviation history, but you ever hear of Civil Air Transport CAT?
Yeah.
Precursor to Air America.
Yep.
Her dad was one of the founding members.
Oh, wow.
So CIA run. So their parents didn't even know that each other were in CIA till they were married for like 2.5 years. It was like that Mr. and Mrs. whatever it was. Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Portsmouth
Wow.
Tower, 2462 Tango, midfield right downwind 16.
You can make a right turn, go back towards the beach here.
4 miles northeast of field. Check goes down runway 16, wind 2707. Clear for the option.
Clear for the option, 26 Tango.
We just had traffic going down this way, that helicopter, so I wanted to avoid them.
Right down and making a short approach, and report at 2 miles final, runway 16.
Report 2 miles final.
Yeah, there's Hampton Beach there.
And bearing 00.
You can go straight here.
And a Diamond Star, currently 3 miles northeast of the field. Reduce your speed, please.
00 Whiskey.
I was afraid when you said light input that it would be like playing Fortnite. My daughter plays Fortnite on the Xbox, and if you go try and shoot someone, you're like all over the place, or at least I am.
It's not quite that bad.
Oh, thank God.
And 62 Tango, start your base.
Turning base, 62 Tango.
And 70 with Victory, traffic followers turning to the right base now, Cessna.
Tower, helicopter 2 Bravo Delta, 1 mile.
Helicopter 2 Bravo Delta, remain east of runway 16 for landing traffic. Off taxi.
Alright, then you can go back left, follow the coast.
Clear to land at Alpha November, east of the runway, 2 Bravo Delta.
Diamond Star 70 Victor, traffic is short right base now, Cessna.
This is Seabrook Beach up here, the Seabrook Power Plant up the nose.
Just continue and roll out on the 2 mile final.
We have them in sight now, 70 Victor.
70 Victor, roger there, and option number 2, check those on 16, clear to land.
Clear to land, 70 Victor.
And bearing 00 Whiskey, your traffic follows the Diamond Star, turning a 2 mile final.
So, Plum Island, Newburyport.
Yep, yeah, Newburyport's right off the nose.
Yep.
And Boston on the horizon.
Great visibility.
It is, it's crazy. I haven't had this visibility in a few weeks.
No, it's a 70 Victor requesting land long.
70 Victor, long landing approved, and expect to exit at Bravo.
I can actually see my neighborhood from here. Because I live somewhat close to a water tower, and I can see that water tower that's on top of the hill that I live near.
Long landing approved. Exit Bravo, 70 Victor.
And bearing 00 Whiskey, the traffic is a half mile final. Number 2, check goes down, runway 16, clear to land.
Traffic in the sight, clear to land, 1600 Whiskey.
Definitely chose a good day to come out here.
It's just luck. We were up north at the lake, and my daughter's 13, seeing how 13-year-olds are. They're like, it's going to be boring.
Right.
So she brought a friend. I'm thinking, all right, I'll come back Saturday. She's like, can we stay longer? So I said to the wife, if you guys stay longer, go for it, but I've got an appointment.
Right. So are you going to be heading back up there, or?
Probably maybe Thursday. I don't know yet.
So they just stay up there?
They're going to come back late today.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I went up last Thursday. They came up last Saturday.
Okay.
So working from home's pretty convenient.
Yeah, for sure.
Computer and the internet, I'm good.
What is it you do?
I work for a construction software company.
Okay.
Have you ever been in and out of the Merrimack River?
No, not on a boat.
Yeah, pretty crazy.
It's funny watching up here because people just park their boat right on the entrance because of the fishing's so good there, and then you got boats like zigzagging trying to get through, and the current I guess is pretty strong.
Yep.
And it's just like, yeah, it looks silly.
It is, and then you throw lobster traps on top of it. You know, so there's buoys everywhere.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you have a boat?
I used to.
Yeah.
Well, we still have one up the lake. We had 2 boats down here. The wife got bored with the ocean, so.
Time to go up in the air.
Bravo, taxi to. I'm heading to.
And it's funny because she used to fly. She was born in Tokyo and then over to Hong Kong, back to Tokyo, and then grew up high school in the Philippines. So she'd come back and forth in college from the States back to the Philippines to visit her parents.
Yep.
Thought nothing of it, and now she's freaked out with any thermals whatsoever. You know, there's. I'm like, it's like just like being on the ocean. You know, just waves. It's,
right. Exactly. Kind of make a right turn now and follow the river up. We'll go around Newburyport, circle around Newburyport, and then coastline back.
so I'm assuming you take precedence in landing over the helicopter. They'll have them hold so you can.
So they actually get treated like an airplane for the most part. I don't think I've ever seen one like go into a hover to allow us to land. What they'll do instead is if we're like kind of conflicting, they'll land on the taxiway and we'll land on the runway.
Gotcha.
00 Whiskey, Roger, off the Bravo, right on Alpha, and hold short of Mike for a helicopter, the range frequency.
Left on Bravo, right on now.
But I guess from my understanding is it's actually not
Charlie, 1 mile east.
that safe to go into a hover at altitude. I guess it's okay at ground level, but I guess if you're up in the air, it's really not like a thing you want to make a habit of.
November, and I missed the first part of that call. My batteries in my headset died.
72 Charlie, Roger. Traffic is down and start currently southbound on Alpha, just past November now, so you can land behind him.
Roger.
Sure, the black car was packed today.
Oh yeah.
Current 00 Whiskey, you can remember.
Sure it is.
Hold short of Mike on Alpha.
Mike on Alpha, gradually.
You can just kind of do like a wide 360 around to the left.
And helicopter 70 Charlie, the Baron on Alpha will be holding the north of Mike for you.
Alright, got him in sight, 827 Charlie.
That's Plum Island Airport right there. The grass and the paved runway.
Yeah, that's a really short runway.
It is. It is. We go there for practice of soft field and short field landings.
Someone just landed in the trees last week, right?
I saw that, yeah.
Yeah.
It was funny that when it happened, I was with a student of mine. It was his first flight with me. He used to fly that airplane.
Oh no.
And he was just like a regular renter of it, and I told him I was like, yeah, there was an airplane that just went into the trees at Plum Island, and it's like a very unique airplane. And I said the name of it, and he's like, what's the tail number? And so I looked up the picture, and it was the airplane he flies. He's part of a flying club, and he was just getting with me to just get current again. He's like, well, I guess I'm not flying that anymore. I guess I'll be flying with you guys a little longer than I thought.
Yep.
It's like, bummer. I don't know how they managed to do that. I'm thinking he went right in the trees there at the end of the grass. I don't know. Every accident I see, I'm just like, how? But obviously something happened where it made it happen, so.
Laws of physics don't like to be broken.
No, not really.
Portsmouth Tower, Twin Cessna 340, Echo, Echo.
Twin Cessna 340, Echo, Echo, Portsmouth Tower.
Yeah, 12 miles northeast for landing with Sierra.
Twin Cessna 0, Echo, Echo, report 2 mile left base, runway 16.
340 Echo, Echo, we'll call you on a 2 mile left base for 16, and we're going to customs today.
Roger, thanks.
Salisbury, the ocean blue.
Yep. This is such a perfect area to fly around. You can go be in the mountains in 20 minutes, be over the water in 5 minutes. And if it's a pretty warm day, being over the water is definitely a little cooler. You're less susceptible to the thermals.
Yeah, nice to have the little flaps to give some breeze.
Yeah, that's only when it was like that 90, 95 out, those didn't do anything. It just put hot air inside.
Right. Yeah.
It did not really offer any relief whatsoever. We were going up to like 4,000, 5,000 feet just to get down a couple degrees of temperature. It was so uncomfortable.
Yeah, you said you canceled some flights, right?
Yeah, we canceled a whole bunch. I mean, just after like 2 or 3 lessons, I was just starting to feel it. I don't know if it was heat stroke or what, but I was getting a headache and...
That's heat stroke,
yeah. And when I was getting out of the airplane, I'd get lightheaded, and I was drinking a ton of water, but I was just so hot. I didn't really have like any relief from it. And then I have people complaining about it. It's like, well, it's just heat. Like, you open the flaps. It's like, no, it's not really. That's not the point.
You don't want your instructor passing out.
Right. It wasn't even like the temperature, it was the sun. Like the sun was just so powerful, just beating down on your body the entire day.
Speaking of which, do you need to have any UV protection, or do you have to?
No, so we just use the shade. We just have this little shade that comes over like that. As far as I know, these do not, because my tan is from the airplane, so.
Okay.
So no, I don't think they do.
Gives you good perspective on where they were dredging.
Yep. I was always curious why there's lines going through the marsh and stuff, like perfect lines straight through, and like what's the purpose? What were they doing?
You just to control the flow of water and high. If you get really high rains, there's a secondary source to drain off. That'd be my guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
Let the marsh try and absorb some of it.
Yeah, it's weird because every couple of feet there's, you know, a line that's cleared out that goes, you know, a couple hundred feet in one direction.
Yep,
I got him in sight. He's on the screen here.
27, are you transitioning along the shoreline?
We'd like to come up the river and do downtown Portsmouth and then follow Route 1 south.
Beneteau 90 Papa.
Wind 280 at 05.
Is that the one that's requesting up the river?
Nope, he's in front of us actually. He's up here, I think.
Few clouds 25,000. Temperature 25. Dew point 07. Altimeter 3027. Pressure altitude -219er. Expect visual approach runway 16. Departing runway 16. Attention all aircraft. Hazardous weather information for Northeast region available on highways or flight service frequencies. Taxiway Alpha between Charlie and Delta close to aircraft wingspan greater than 200 feet. Advise on initial contact you have information Sierra. Portsmouth Tower information.
Alright, you can go like a north heading. Go right for Great Bay.
We're about 2 mile left base now.
Twin Cessna 0, Echo Echo, check those down runway 16, and winds variable at 4. Clear to land and along landing approved.
Okay, wheels are down, clear to land runway 16. Where's Customs? Is it by the Air Force base there or by the terminal?
It is, it's by the terminal here by the tower, so you can either exit at Charlie or Bravo, your discretion.
Roger, 340 Echo Echo.
And number 62 Tango, extend downwind following Twin Cessna, 1.5 miles left base.
Roger, extending downwind, I don't yet have him in sight. 62 Tango.
I don't remember what the thing was. Doesn't matter.
Portsmouth Tower, V266 Victor Alpha is 8 miles to the south inbound with information.
RV266 Victor Alpha, Portsmouth Tower, enter air right downwind runway 16, report midfield.
Right down 16, report midfield, RV6 Victor Alpha.
You can kind of shoot right for the center of the airport.
Okay. In the same elevation, or?
You can start a slow descent down. I just want to clear Hampton Airfield, which is right there. I just don't want to go below 1500 by Hampton Airfield.
And Tower 62 Tango, have the traffic in sight.
62 Tango, there, full stop, number 2, check wheels down, runway 16, wind calm, cleared for the option.
Clear for the option, 62 Tango.
Do you have any questions on anything?
Nope, when we get close, I'll hand it over to you.
Sure.
Let's fight another day. But yeah, I want to keep flying with you. I like your style. And, you know,
Cool.
so.
Yeah, I try to stay relaxed. You know, I'll never like hit you with a ruler or yell. I'll politely tell you what you're doing wrong. Unless it gets really bad, then I'll be a little more forceful with it, but for the most part, I'm just looking out the window, enjoying the view, making sure you don't get us in trouble.
Try my best.
Twin Cessna 0, Echo Echo, turn left at Bravo, and then a taxi to Customs via Bravo. Left turn on Alpha, right turn into Foxtrot or Golf.
Okay, left on Bravo, left on Alpha, and then a right turn in. 340 Echo Echo.
Okay, affirmative, and you can remain this frequency.
340 Echo Echo. Yeah, 340 Echo Echo, clearing the runway. Staying with you.
0 Echo, roger, and they're going to be left turn Alpha, right turn into Foxtrot or Golf.
Roger, 340 Echo Echo.
Alright, you can level off here at 11. 200 feet's pattern altitude. That's what we'll maintain up until we're beating the numbers. There's always so much bump here near the airport.
Yeah, all these buildings.
Yep.
Yep.
You can go parallel to the runway now. And that'll put us on the right downwind. Yes, the golf courses, all these plowed fields, the buildings, everything contributes.
And Twin Cessna 0 Echo Echo. I turned into Juliet there. You just if you come just straight towards the tower, right now you see the jet bridge. That's where customs is.
Roger, thank you. 340 Echo Echo.
Downtown and follow Route 1 south down to the towers.
Banner 90 Papa, Roger. You can proceed on course. Traffic is assessed on the roll now. Runway 16, so we'll be in a right close traffic.
90 Papa, we'll be looking, thanks.
RV6 Victor Alpha's coming up midfield.
And Twin Cessna 0 Echo Echo. Customs should be just off your right side now.
Okay, right by the jetway there, I see.
Excellent.
Thank you.
RV6 Victor Alpha, check those down, runway 16, wind calm, clear to land.
Clear to land 16, RV6 Victor Alpha.
And Twin Cessna 0 Echo Echo, is there anyone there?
Well, there should be. We notified them ahead of time. I don't see anyone coming out right now.
0 Echo Echo, Roger. If you could just taxi ahead a few more feet, and then you can...
All right, I'll go ahead and take it back now.
Yep. Oh, you
got it?
Yep.
Ahead a few more.
Excellent.
Take the obligatory photo.
Yeah, go for it. Feel free.
And 60 Tango, right close traffic is approved.
Roger, 60 Tango, and this will be our last circuit.
Roger. And Banner 90 Papa, the Cessna is in the right turn now after departure into 16.
And 90 Papa, traffic inside, maintain a visual.
Roger.
Tower, can 6 Victor Alpha get a long landing Bravo?
RV6 Victor Alpha, long landing approved.
Long landing approved, 6 Victor Alpha, thanks.
Thanks.
And Banner 90 Papa's going to make one circle here around Tuscan Kitchen and then head over to water country.
Banner 90 Papa, Roger. Approved as requested.
90 Papa.
So what we do, because the taxi would be so long to get back, we do what's called a long landing. And so we don't touch down until like after taxiway Charlie. Yeah. That way we don't have to taxi the whole way back.
So you're going to come in with flaps down, Nute 0?
Yep, so right now flaps are 0, so I'm just keeping the speed up, and I'll just burn off all the speed once I get it sort of past the Charlie. Airplane lands in such small distance, so...
Portsmouth Tower, good afternoon, Grumman 51012. It's 12 miles to the west.
There's been a time where I landed on the yellow line for the taxiway, like the turnoff, and I was able to make the turnoff. So it stops extremely quick. But I'm going to roll it out just because I'm not using flaps, so. Float it down.
Harvey 6 Victor Alpha is clear on Bravo.
Harvey 6 Victor Alpha, taxi around via Alpha November and remain this frequency. Have a good day.
Alpha November, this frequency, have a good one, 6 Victor Alpha.
And Tower 62 Tango is about to turn base.
Cessna 60 Tango, check wheels down, 1916, wind 2704, clear for the option, and then you heading southwest bound?
Yeah, back towards Lawrence.
60 Tango, roger, and then southwest bound departures. Approved traffic is a banner tow, currently a mile south of the field, following Route 1 southbound.
All right, we'll be on the lookout for the banner tow, 62 Tango.
So how far did you get into like the ground school? Like what did you learn up to?
4 or 5 lessons in. I think we'd just gone into figuring out balance points. We'd Bernoulli versus Nute on lift and yeah.
So you sort of get into the aerodynamics of flight.
Yeah.
Did you learn about like airport operations?
Nope.
No, none of that yet.
Nope.
Weather?
Nope.
Performance?
Nope.
Nope. It's not a whole lot yet.
No, exactly.
Cool.